Hello, welcome to our program. So happy to visit with our next guest. He's a community leader, he's been an educator, and has many contributions that he's made to our region, specifically around advocacy and education. He's Dr. Sergio Lira. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm just honored to be here.
Thank you. And I know you do many things. And one thing in particular that you've done is really lead LULAC through Council 4967 with regular programming, announcements of scholarships. And I'm excited to be your keynote speaker in May as you raise funds for young leaders who are trying to go into college. And as I've mentioned to you, is where, I earned some of my stripes at 15, 16 with LULAC, with Johnny Mata, Olga Solis, and so many other extraordinary Houstonians. So in advance, thank you for all that you do and for keeping these LULAC chapters alive and thriving.
Yes, thank you. No, I mean, I've been a member of LULAC for about 20 years now. This is my 20th year. It's an organization that just has a national reputation. I'm standing on the shoulders of many that came before me who created pathways for, making sure that we had opportunities for civil rights in the field of criminal justice and also of education. I'm just so thrilled and excited to be president of the Greater Houston LULAC 4967. We're growing, we're thriving, we're doing a lot of great advocacy here in the Houston area. And one of my personal areas of just joy is helping with the LULAC scholarship. And we're so honored to have you as our keynote speaker. As we all know, that a great education is the key to lifting folks out of poverty and breaking the cycle of poverty and giving students, the opportunity to maximize their talent, their God-given talent with a good education.
Well, and you talk a lot about advocacy, and there are so many areas, but specifically, I know that one that we've talked about lately in particular is all of the anti-immigrant legislation that is putting the fear in many individuals and has an economic impact, a negative one on our businesses, etc. What are some of your thoughts as it relates to that anti-immigrant legislation that we're seeing?
Yes, no, as we know, Senate Bill 4, which is going into effect, I believe, on Tuesday, hearing that perhaps the federal government may be somehow able to block that with the intervention from the criminal justice department from our federal government. But this anti-immigrant, this anti-rhetoric to use asylum seekers, immigrants, perhaps immigrants like our parents or our grandparents, to use them as a political piñata is just abhorrent. It's just the audacity to continue to do that. We as a civil rights group have to continue to fight to neutralize that language, that rhetoric. And what we're doing is the National LULAC has filed lawsuits against voter suppression laws, Senate Bill 4, and other legislations that really target the Latino community, the immigrant community. And you're right, it does have an impact economically, especially perhaps more evident in the border area, in the region, because folks will be afraid to come to this country and being, arrested or perhaps deported based on the assumption that they're immigrants. They speak with an accent, look different. And therefore, that's going to have a huge impact in the businesses around the La Frontera and also here in Houston, which is perhaps it is the #1 international city in our country. So that cascading effect is going to be very profound. It's going to be very strong. But we as Latino leaders, we as community organizers must stand up and speak up.
Yes. Well, we've interviewed most recently State Representative Armando Wally and State Representative Cristina Morales and others that represent us at the local, state, and national levels. We know this is a national federal issue. However, we are proud to know that we have many of our leaders in the city, Hispanic or not, that are absolutely with immigrants and understand the valuable role they play in our society and in our economy. One of the questions that I wanted to visit with you about is something you sent our way, which was a question about whether or not male leaders are disappearing. We are seeing women graduating from college at a higher rate. Latinas are starting businesses at the highest rate of any other group in the country. And so we're seeing women definitely make some tremendous strides. So what say you regarding male leadership?
Very good question. There are some patterns and trends as we evolve as a wonderful country, a blessed country, and we are so honored and privileged to be here. But a lot of times the waves of influence and forces that are out there make tremendous political, economic decisions that impact everyone, and not only in terms of ethnicity, but also in terms of gender. Let me give you an example. When Trump won, about a month or 2 months later, there was a huge march in Washington. It was a women's march. It was, I believe, it was about 1 million women, and the purpose was because of the Trump rhetoric that was so anti-women, anti-LGBTQ, anti-Muslims, anti-immigrants, prompted this huge march of women, which is, rightly so, and it should be done. And the movement to empower women has really propelled many gifted and talented women to have leadership roles. However, on the downside of that is that there are some good men who have been sidelined or discarded. For example, in the Texas legend in Houston, in state of Texas, Harris County, there's only one, Armando Wally. All the other ones are female, and more power to female leaders and female empowerment. But at the same time, there's going to be a balance where it's going to be male and female of Latino leaders who are well qualified to lead major institutions or government institutions or corporate institutions. So it's going to eventually reach some sort of balance. But what I'm seeing is that except in our local city council in our last election, 3 male Latinos won, and there's not a single female Latina on city council. So that was very telling. It was very unique, and it was quite rare. And I was thinking, well, what's happening here? Is the movement swinging more towards the middle now, where there's a balance of both female and male leaders? But nationally and across the nation, I'm seeing that a lot of Latino males are being sidelined underneath all the, and rightly so, women empowerment movement. So I think we're going to reach a happy medium eventually, but I'm really concerned that there are some great men out there that are just, they're becoming more and more obscure.
Well, and the question is, are they being sidelined or are they being outworked by the women?
Perhaps both.
Correct. Well, again, Dr. Lira, thank you for all that you do. And thank you for the impact you've had in education and advocacy. We're very proud of you. Have a great day.
Thank you.